Welcome, my Vigorous Warriors, back with another episode of Vigor Warrior. And today we're going to talk about controlling something that I think is a very important thing to control. If you're on your journey of retention and trying to master yourself and to become a better person, what I found is controlling this lust, this idea that you need to kind of satisfy yourself and get short-term gratification. Now, part of what I'm going to talk about is a couple different things, and I'm a very religious person, but I think that no matter what religion you have, a couple different things that I've studied recently, that's Brahmacharya and Celibacy, looking at the idea of trying to control the behaviors to the point where you're almost kind of transferring that energy into something else. And whether you're religious or not, I think part of the issue is to kind of look at the practicality of this and to kind of see how important it is for your own well-being and for your happiness. Certainly, lust is a problem that we have throughout society. I think we talk about lust when it comes to men and women. We also talk about lust when it comes to money and greed and trying to take things from other people when we shouldn't. All those type of things kind of go back to this idea of lust. When I talk about lust, obviously we're going to talk more in the realm of with men and women, but the idea is that you're also talking about trying to be jealous and greedy and trying to take things from others because you feel that you deserve this. And a lot of people have this entitlement attitude that I see more prevalent nowadays than before. So when we talk about this, Brahmacharya, once again, and what I want to do, make sure that I'm going to post a couple things below. One of them is the YouTube video that I looked at called The Practice of Brahmacharya and it was posted by SanQ4, so I want to kind of shout out to that person. And then also the actual book itself, The Practice of Brahmacharya by, I think it's Swami Sarvana, and I will post that on the Amazon thing as well after I get done with the video. But controlling your lust is a key thing, and this talks about in that religion, it's the Indian religion, that talk about really talking about staying in control and conducting yourself within yourself. And part of the idea of lust is the idea that you're out of control. And we see this a lot with people who are old or younger. It doesn't really matter the age with this. It's more of a case of your mindset. And I think when we talk about lust and why we do that, we kind of put ourselves in a bad situation. And so what you have to do is kind of look at this idea of even any sort of thoughts or ideas that you have is going to lead you down the wrong path. And I think I had one of my listeners ask me about this, and I thought it was a good topic to kind of talk about. But what you have to do is kind of, before you talk about the physical part of things, you kind of have to look at the mental part. And in our society, we talk about these type of things where, like for OnlyFans and pictures and all these things are running around all over the place. It's very hard to get away from the feeling that, it's okay to go ahead and lose your energy. It's okay to go ahead and lust after people. It's a natural type of thing. And though those instincts may be natural, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to kind of act upon them all the time. And I think certainly you have to think to yourself, okay, is this act that I'm doing, is this going to be beneficial to me in the long run, or is it just going to create more problems? And so the key is going to be, can you kind of look at the long-term consequences and the long-term gratification compared to the short-term that you're exhibiting? And so a lot of people that I run into, they don't really seem to care about the short-term, and I think that creates a lot of problems for them in the long run. And so as you look at this, and I'm having my kitty cat come over here, you're going to tend to look at lusting as far as a negative type of thing that you want to avoid. And so as we talk about Brahmacharya, as we talk about celibacy, I'm going to also bring in the Fountain of Youth type of discussion, that another book that I'll list as we talk about that one. But the thing about it is, what you want to do is kind of focus on controlling this thought pattern. And so anytime you sense something that's going to get you to the point where your energy is starting to rise, you want to go ahead and move that into something else. So let's talk about that a little bit here. So what do? if you get a situation where you run into a picture of something, or you see somebody and all of a sudden your energy is starting to flow up and you really kind of get excited about looking at the person. Well, the best thing to do, with a couple things. One is I would take some deep breaths, and I think I'll do a video on the actual exercises and everything in the Fountain of Youth and everything that I found been beneficial over the last 20 years as far as exercising go. But when it comes to retention and focusing on transmutation, transferring it up, you want to take some deep breaths. One example is that whenever you feel this way, take your thumb, put it to your nose, breathe in, and then switch over to the other side and exhale. So inhale and exhale, and that seems to have worked a lot for me. The other thing is, once again, it's a mental picture. And those of you who played sports before, you know this. You can create mental visualizations in your mind, and when you look at things in a certain way, it's a positive. And so when you look at this, saying to yourself, okay, this energy that I have, I'm going to go ahead and kind of transfer it up, and I'm going to visualize that energy coming back up into me, that I can use it for my health and my vitality and my vigor, to be able to kind of use it in a positive way. And so that's one aspect of it. Another aspect is, as soon as you feel something like that, then basically kind of stand up and kind of breathe in and breathe out. And what's going to happen is, what I found is that my mind, I think it's because of the air, oxygen to the brain, all of a sudden changes your thought pattern. And so instead of being excited and thinking about that type of thing, now you're going to go ahead and refocus on something else. And certainly, I think having another plan definitely is a workout plan. So as soon as you get excited and something's happening to you, find a way to use that energy in a positive way. Go work out, go run, go walk, go do something, but don't dwell on that thought. Once again, the old saying is that you can have birds flying on top of your head, but you don't want them nesting in your head and creating temptation. The power of lust is very strong, right? You want to go ahead and focus on this by looking at, how do I redirect that lust and energy? I believe lust is one of the biggest problems we have in this world. We've always had that problem. And I think my journey is focused on, if I've had issues with that in the past, it's always been a negative thing. And if I haven't controlled it, it's even been worse. So what you really want to do is, you're not going to stop people, things from seeing things and noticing things around you. And I think the judgment of what you do with those things, that's you. I'm not going to judge that. But I also say to you that, in my experiences at least, I've had more problems than not if I'm over here being controlled by the lust than trying to, try to transfer into something else that's more useful. And once again, if you have a plan, if you have goals that you want to achieve, and you know the things you're going to achieve, like I know people in their 90s who have goals and they want to achieve, they are going to be, a lot more accomplished. Now, once again, if you're having a family and you want to have kids, procreation is a whole different matter in my mind than what we're talking about with celibacy and having the hard monk mode that I'm in now. I mean, I've had my children and those type of things, so I'm in a little different type of situation. So you have to kind of make that decision, but always remember, the whole key is the same way. The lustful thoughts, the ideas, that, to my mind at least, brings out your energy and takes energy away from you, and that's the thing you want to avoid. And so as you focus on these type of things in the future, and we'll talk about things like fasting, cold showers, things that I've done when I've had these type of situations, and I really believe in cold showers a lot, and I probably end up doing a video on it at some point as well. But I do think that you have to kind of focus on, the key is trying to get away from that lust that you sense. And a lot of people, this is kind of subconscious, guys. When you look at the whole art of Brahmacharya, for instance, celibacy, it's a continual battle. This is a lifelong type battle of control. And I know, being 60 years old, I've had this battle for a long, long time. And I've won some, battles. Some you lose some battles. But in the long run, you're wanting to try to stay more healthier, live longer, be more successful, and do those type of things and be a lot more positive. So, once again, you got to control your lust, And this power of lust is very strong. But control the lust by doing things, exercises that get you back into your pattern, into your plan. Okay? Well, once again, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to kind of focus on topics. But today's topic was focusing on controlling the lust and focusing on the art of Brahmacharya, celibacy, using that more into your life so you can control the lust better. Okay? All right, guys, have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Battle on.